Good morning, YouTube. Man, I'm feeling bummed out today. And it's not from anything you would think, like the homelessness, or the lack of money, or the joblessness. No. It's about my front tooth. This one. Why are you bummed out about it, Ray? You got a cavity? Actually, kind of the opposite. And I'm thinking about, maybe if I just talk about it, I'll be less bummed out. Put it into words. I don't think in words, and sometimes putting things into words helps. And here goes. For a long time, not as long as I can remember, but roughly as long as I've had fingernails, I've noticed that this tooth has a divot in it. Like the front surface of it has a divot right about here. I know this because, as a nervous habit, run this fingernail along the tooth and it catches in the divot. And it's such a deep divot that, if I put pressure on it, I can't get it to come out of the divot. It's a deep divot in the front surface of my tooth. And because it's like a nervous habit, I've done this so many times. I know for sure that divot should be there. It's deep enough to catch this fingernail. It's not going anywhere. It is a fact. But yesterday, I ran my fingernail along this tooth. Just went right down it. That divot is gone. It was like a quarter of a millimeter deep. And it's just gone. And I know that it was there because run the fingernail over it, even speculated as to its origins. I'm like, why do I have a divot on my tooth? Was there just a piece of tartar sitting there at some point and I didn't realize it and it just ate away at the enamel? Or my main theory is I bit my nails as a kid. And so putting pressure on my baby teeth, fucked up the formation of the enamel of that tooth, and that's why there's a divot. I've thought about it a lot, but now it's gone. Okay, I'm trying to put this into words. I don't have that linear of thinking. The thing is, people who listen to me talking about my God shit, they might not realize this, but I have a very strong, rational mind. It's always reality checking things. Oh my God shit, the rational part of my mind is sitting there explaining shit away. Okay, let me go deeper with this to why I'm bummed out. 8 years ago, before I started thinking I was God, I was an atheist skeptic, not even the standard variety, because I'm not trying to put my point of view forward. It's just, that's how my mind was, and to an extent is. I want to believe, but I don't, and here's why. It's the part of my mind that just believes that this is a reality governed entirely by deterministic scientific laws, and there's no other thing going on. There's nothing beyond it. And if you think there's something else, I'll explain to you why it's wrong. I'll explain it away. So there's a lot of things about my God stuff, everything, it can be explained away with reason, with that rational skeptic part of my mind. I get strings of saliva when I'm upset and dehydrated. And for the longest time, that was most of my mind. That was pretty much all there was. And why is my life bad? Well, psychopath mother, dumbass father, maligning you during your childhood. That's why you have trouble relating to people. That's why you're hyperlogical. Shit like that. Explain it away. Or even when I'm doing my God shit, that part of my mind is well, everybody's got to have a hobby, Ray, and this is no more or less pointless than crocheting or golf, so you just have at it, buddy boy. The rational part of my mind. That rational part of my mind is the link between where I am now and that last time in my life that made sense to me. And it's it just suffered a serious blow, because I'm okay, rational part of my mind, explain that. And it's I got nothing. You can't just regenerate a volume of enamel. It doesn't just leave me alone, man. I got nothing. There's other shit that can't be explained, but then time passes, and then it can be explained by the frailties of memory and perception. When my God shit first started, and I was doing it, it would like kind of alter reality around me. And then time passes, I move on to another point in my life, and that rational part of my mind is like, well, Ray, I mean, probably just imagined it. Maybe you were taking too much Adderall. Maybe you weren't taking enough Adderall. Like it'll be either one of those, by the way. Like if I'm taking Adderall, yeah, it's too much Adderall. If I wasn't taking Adderall, you weren't taking enough Adderall. Just whatever explains it away so that it's just a scientific reality where everything makes sense. So in a way, it's like the last part of me, the me I was, kind of died a little yesterday because there's no explaining how a defect in the enamel on the non-chewing surface of your tooth can just disappear. It can't. I mean, I started thinking, well, maybe I've just brushed my teeth so much that the enamel around it got worn down to the same level, but that's fucking horse shit. Can't brush away that much goddamn enamel in a short amount of time, because I remember I was sitting in the library around March, you know, just really bored, feeling that divot, like, yeah, must have been from chewing my nails. That's why I got this deep divot that stops my fingernail dead in its tracks. My God, shit tells me I'm in a different body, and this is proof. And it's like, it's not proof that can be erased, because it's part of my body. I know all the time I've spent, like, putting my fingernail in that divot, speculating about it, and now, anytime I want to check, I can check and see that it's gone. And I can't explain that away. So, yeah, I'm gonna pause this. Like, I know nobody will understand this, why this would bum me out, but it does. I mean, I feel like a lot of people in my position would be like, say to the rational part of their mind, booyah, bitch! I'm definitely God, this proves it, yeah! But it's like, nothing about my situation has really changed, except like the last tenuous rope back to that old life that I understood. I wasn't happy, but I understood. I felt like I understood life. And I'd rather have a reality that I feel like I definitely understand and am unhappy than a life where I am happy, but I don't really understand things. I mean, yeah, sure, I have all this God shit. My rational mind is just like, Ray, you're an imaginative person. You're an imaginative person who can make connections between things, but here's your reality check. And it's like, reality check fail. Like, it's so hard to explain why I'm so bummed. Oh, okay, maybe I can put it in a more vulnerable way. You might have noticed that I'm some type of human being. And as a human, I want to share my life with other people. And so all this God shit, that's not something I can share with people. But the rational part of my mind, that's the part that takes charge when I'm at work, for instance. That's why I miss work. I take some Adderall, forget about all the God shit, focus on what is rational, what is true. And I can share that with other people. And they understand what I'm saying. And even if they don't, they realize it's because I'm smarter than them. They think about it, and then they realize that what I'm saying is true. Because it's rational, congruent with the scientific reality where shit makes sense. So the last part of my mind that I could, like, share with other people is just like, just took a hit. And that increases my pain, because I'm always in pain. Because if you're some type of human being, like an empathetic human being, and you just can't share anything about your internal life with people, you're just constantly in pain. But, you know, ultimate man, constantly in pain, even if it's a lot of pain, if there's nothing to do about it, the answer is, don't think about it, and focus on things that are not pain. And that rational part of my mind that I could share with other people, that's not pain. That's what little I have in common with people. And it just basically got a knife to the kidney with this. Something that can't be explained away. I mean, anybody could see that I'm in a lot of pain, but I mean, that's why I always am in an enormous amount of pain. and it just got even worse. If I weren't the ultimate man, I would be fucking crying right now. I mean, there's so much evidence that what I think is true. But it can be explained away, like the scars on my body, scars that I don't remember getting, or scars that look distinctly different. It's like, well, scars remodel themselves, Ray. Probably just happened while you weren't looking. But you know what doesn't remodel itself? Your motherfucking tooth enamel. It stays the same or it wears down. It doesn't wear up. You don't grow new enamel. It doesn't work like that. You know, when the God shit started, like, there's stuff like, when I do my God shit, I'd wave something around and it'd make clanking noises upstairs. But then time passes, I'm like, you know what? It's probably just the guy upstairs just so happens to clank his shit around while you're waving the shit. Or, like, anything, if time passes, it can be explained away as the frailties of human perception and memory. But when there's something you know was there, and now it's not, and you can check that it's not, that's a different story. I know I'm not great at explaining things. Like, you wouldn't think having a divot disappear from your tooth could bum a person out so much, but I mean, it's my life, man. I often, well, maybe not that often, but I just get intensely nostalgic for my old apartment in Shawnee, you know? I'd go to work, I'd come home, maybe make a YouTube video. On the weekends, I'd take a heap of Adderall, clean the thing, sweep that carpet, sweep it several times, in fact, dumping out the dumpster. I mean, like, look at all those skin cells. Yes, sirree. Makes sense. I'm always shedding them. Clean the kitchen, clean the bathroom, get on YouTube, maybe make more videos, you know, get good and drunk while I'm doing it. It's not a good life, but it makes sense. And the thing is, because I'm always interacting with people saying goofy shit and pointing it out, it's like, well, hell, man, life does make sense. I'm making sense of it. Look at these videos I make where I just point out these logical frailties that, you know, and I wasn't happy, but I mean, man, it means so much to me for things to make sense that, like, I'm still so nostalgic for it. And that rational part of my mind, that explain things away part of my mind, that ultra skeptic part of my mind, the one that just took a vicious blow, it was that tenuous link. It was my way back to a life that made sense, and it's just gone silent because it cannot explain why this divot is not here anymore.